But you know what you don't need to see? I Yeah, you can't see it still. Surely. There you go. You don't need to see Angelic Chaos. I mean, you don't need to see it to play it. So, sure, I guess you can go with that. Either way, last time we played through, we started Noah's route. I mean, inadvertently, I guess. But hang on. Interesting. You have the political tag. I see. Angelic Chaos isn't a category anymore on Twitch. Why'd they take it off? Well, it makes sense. There's no all ages version. You can still make it all ages. Well, yeah, but not many people know how to. I know how to because I have to constantly make games all ages and 18 plus. Can you still play it? Yeah. I just, you know, I just have to do what I did with fucking with Oz Magna, right? I don't know why it took them to change the I don't know why it took them so long to get rid of the category after, you know, it was taken off Steam. Laziness. Sure, let's go with that. Like how it takes me so long to start to play this game every time I stream. Either way, last time we played through, probably that guy who streamed 80 plus hate scenes. Well, you can check when you can check if his channel's still there. I don't know what his channel name is. But last time we played, we got to Noah's route, right? We started doing stuff with Noah. Riku started getting dreams about Diablo and what was happening with Diablo. And you know, they talked about it with Kaguya and Orie. And realized that he's having those dreams because of the things that Noah and Riku are doing, which you can only find out about. You can only find out what they're doing in the 18 plus version. But they realized whatever the fuck Noah and Riku are doing is causing Riku to have these dreams. So, of course, they're going to keep doing it so that Riku can have more dreams, and so on and so forth. Right? But that's enough rambling on. Let's jump right into it, shall we? It's unfortunate that there's no category of this anymore, but I'm not going to stop playing now. Why is it so laggy? Channel is still up. Weird. In the end, everything worked out just fine. I was able to have another weird dream thanks to Noah's efforts. I see the same vast verdurous meadows with imposing mountain ranges crowning the horizon. I'd never mistake the scenery, especially the sword piercing my chest and the blood splattering around me. Did you add the mature rated game tag? No, it's just on by default when you play when you use the Games Plus demo category. I still have many questions, but this is only a dream. I can't move freely since I'm just simply viewing Diablo's memories. All I feel is the peace of mind I felt last time. But why? I don't understand. My vision becomes hazy as the blood sputters from my chest down the sword's blade and onto the grass below. It covers the person holding the sword as well. They're looking up at me, at Diablo. Surprisingly, her face is that of a woman. Why is that surprising? Aren't most Valkyries depicted as women? Her long, luscious hair sways in the wind, and her fair skin glimmers under the sunlight. Her beauty is almost ethereal, almost like she's the Norse depiction, the Norse equivalent of an angel. This is Diablo's memory. I've never experienced this or anything like it. But for some strange reason, this woman feels familiar to me. What is a male Valkyrie called? It'd still be a Valkyrie. I don't think they have a different name for a male Valkyrie. Suddenly, I hear a gasp. It doesn't come from Diablo, but from the girl holding the sword. Her eyes widen as she looks at his face. The expression on her blood-stained face is one of surprise. As for Diablo, all I can feel from him is a deep sense of fulfillment.
貴様、何を笑う？
俺が
笑っているだろう！
Why is she so loud?
そうか。ま、そうだな。悪い気分じゃない。
It's not like I can change her volume, right? She doesn't have an independent fucking slider voice. She doesn't have an independent voice thing
ボイ
unless
ス音量の確認です。
this would
ボイ
work.
ス音量の確認です。どういう意味だ？
Okay, that actually did work. Never mind.
どういうって。いや、気にするな。
Is it your internet? Is your internet okay, or is it just Twitch? I think it's just my computer.
この傷はさすがに無理だ。どれだけマナがあったところで癒せるもんじゃない。あー、いって泣きそうなくらいで。
この後に及んでからかうか？
なんでだよ。そんな余裕なんてあるわけないだろう。俺は死ぬよ。間違いなく死ぬ。だから疑ったりするな。お前の勝ちだ。
ならなぜ笑う？何がおかしい？
自分でも驚いてるくらいだ。まさか最後に笑うことになるなんてな。本当にまさかだ。
魔王、貴様は一体何を言って？
Oh no, who would have guessed that she would look like Noah? I can't believe it. The Valkyrie, which is the equivalent of an angel in Norse mythology, would look like Noah, an angel from Christian mythology? I would have never guessed. She had blonde hair and she has blonde hair. I wouldn't have guessed that she would also have blue eyes.
言い残すなら何を言うかいろいろ考えてたのに、こんなことしか言えないなんて。様になんねえな。
Is Briku gonna comment on it or something or anything? The dream ends, and I find myself looking up at the ceiling of my room. I'm not in that foreign mountainous area anymore. So Diablo did die back there. Probably right after the dream ended, judging from the conversation. What I witnessed was probably his last moment. Yet, he was smiling. I guess that means he did feel content in that moment. He did feel content in that moment. And that girl must have been the Valkyrie. She looked somewhat familiar. Maybe that's just my imagination. I can't make sense of this. I mean, I doubt I'd forget a lady that beautiful if I'd met her before. They definitely aren't an acquaintance of mine. I barely even know any grown-up women, excluding family. The only one that comes to mind is Fumika. Plus, that was Diablo's memory. It stands to reason that they're from that world and not ours. Okay, yeah. And so is Kaguya. And so is Orie. And so are you. And so was Amane. And so was... I'm blanking on the names. And so was Karumi. And so is Noah. So I don't know what you're getting at here. All of you have links to that world, so that's not an explanation. There's no way I know them. Actually, didn't they say no one knew where she came from?
魔王の最後は戦乙女に撃たれたそうよ。戦乱の中に突如現れ魔王を討ち取った。人族にとっては一種の英雄ね。出自不明、経歴不明、突如戦場に現れた謎だらけの女性。人族の中では突出したマナーを持ち、その力は魔族に匹敵、もしくは上回っていたと言われているわ。
I've been thinking about Christianity recently, and it feels cruel to me that someone who tries to be a good person would go to hell for simply not believing. That's not true. Dexter, you do realize the only reason that is associated with Christianity is because people from back then used it as a fear-mongering tactic to get people to believe in God. You understand that most of Jesus' disciples didn't believe in God before they became his disciples. The first fucking the first ever humans did not believe in God. I've been looking into it. Where have you been looking into it? Oh, I'm alive apparently. Thanks, Chatterino.
彼女はその力で魔族たちと戦い、ついには魔王を討ち取った。そして姿を消した。
I think that's specifically how she detailed the story. Could it be? Maybe that sense of familiarity is coming from Diablo himself. It said that if you don't have faith or pray, you would go to hell. Who's it? Oh, now apparently I'm offline. He might have known the Valkyrie, and that's why. I'm just going on a tangent now. I need to take my mind off it for a while. Maybe I'll be able to think it through more rationally after. Hey.
おはよう、リク。
Oh, the Valkyrie. I mean, hey, Noah. The Bible. Maybe the Old Testament, but not the New Testament. Oh, no one else is here? It's already 8 in the morning, so Dad and Mum probably left for work at least an hour ago. It's another blisteringly hot day. I commend them for being able to go outside in this weather.
何をしてるんだい？手なんて合わせたりして。
So what is it then? Okay, here's the thing, Dexter. I think you need to understand the God from the Old Testament and the God in the new one are essentially completely different people, quote unquote. All right, the God in the Old Testament flooded the earth. The one in the New Testament didn't do that. Maybe you could say this. Maybe you could say something Revelations and the Rapture or whatever. But that's not that. It's just giving my parents a gesture of my appreciation for their hard work.
こんなところで密かに念じるより、本人の前で直接言えばいいのに。
If I did that to Mom, she'd just bonk me on the head and tell me to stop being dumb.
確かにそうかもね。
What do you believe, or are you an atheist? It's complicated. I'm a theist. Oh. Well, let's go on and have breakfast. I'm hungry.
その前に、今日はどうだった？魔王の記憶を見ることはできた？
What is that? Okay. Do we... Also, I forgot to fucking change my attire. Do we have to really get into this? Okay. Let me just get the literal meaning of a theist. Because, okay, here's why I backtracked on saying that I'm a theist, because obviously, right, atheist, right, someone who doesn't believe in God, so a theist would be someone who does believe in God. What I am is... I'm more on the agnostic side, right? Where... It's more of a questioning of if God is actually a real thing. Right? An agnostic theist would be someone who believes in God even if they don't know if they are real. Right? A theist is someone who just outright believes that God is real or something or the other. Right? Agnostic theist is more backtracky, where it's like, you know, I believe it exists, but I'm not gonna say that it's true. That they do exist, right? Or something or the other. It's confusing. It's there's a reason why most people under the theist branch just says they're Christian, or not Catholic. Catholic is like more devout than a Christian, and is like on the opposite side of the spectrum to a Protestant. I think that a God of some kind exists, and as long as you try to be a good person, even when you make mistakes, you should be fine and won't suffer in the afterlife if it exists. Okay. Let me get more specific in what I'm in what my belief is. I don't know if God exists, but what I do know is that something or something of the other created everything. Right? We went on we had an entire stream going down this rabbit hole of what the fuck happened before the Big Bang, right? For Christians, the answer is that God either created life, or more moderate takes is that God is the reason the Big Bang happened, right? Because, well, we don't really have an explanation to what happened at the start. And I mean the very start, before the Big Bang, before all of these quarks and shit formed, before everything condensed into a single point, right? What the fuck happened at the very start, right? And for Christians, it's God, but right, even though I believe in a form of God, I usually also go further than that. If God supposedly always existed, I think that the Big Bang was the start of God creating the universe and life. Yes, that's what a lot of Christians think as well. But me, here's the thing. Even if I believe God exists, I also question how. Alright? How would God exist? How did he come to be in the first place? The same thing with how any other form of God come to be in the first place, unless we are in a simulation. Dexter, you still haven't answered the original question, right? You're like, okay, God is the creator of the simulation. Then who was the creator of that creator? Right? What happened before that creator? And then what happened before then and before then? Right? I'm talking about the very beginning. Right? Most people think of the very beginning as the Big Bang. I'm talking about before then. And if God was the one who created the Big Bang, I'm talking about what was before God. Right? The problem is, no one knows. The bigger problem is, no one has attempted to answer the question. There were some, right? H.P. Lovecraft was a good example in how Azathoth, which is one of the stronger other gods in his series of books, is essentially the creator of life, of everything, because he is sleeping, right? Azathoth created life through his dreams, and everything in the universe will cease to exist when he wakes up, right? That's one explanation. And then of course right, with in relation to Azathoth, there are other gods in that HP Love other that there are other gods that HP Lovecraft has come up with that are even stronger than him. I say him, but you know, it's in the same vein that as Azathoth is not gendered, right? I'm using it more like a modicum. Yeah. Contingent truths versus necessary truths. Listen, I'm just gonna say the only reason I can think like this is because I have the time to. Most people, you know, they you know, not a lot of them have time. They're a bit busy, you know, trying to live. I put the video in media share. Right. Well, we're gonna see that. We're gonna look at that one different time. What I'm trying to say is that something has to have always existed for something to exist. Yes, that's what I'm trying to get at too. Because here's the thing: if the answer to the question, to the question that I've posed, is that God has always existed, how? How has God always existed? Right? I. This is the problem. It's beyond human comprehension. Well, God in itself is beyond human comprehension. Right? The reason why angels that came down to earth always said, "Be not afraid," is because their appearance was beyond human comprehension. Right? That's why I always love whenever there is something in fiction where it is so out of the realm of human comprehension that it just shows up as like a censored a form of censorship, right? Whether it's like a black bar or something or the other, right? Speaking of censored, this is a really good example of that. Censored from Lobotomy Corporation. Shut up. How do I get rid of you? Whatever. So, censored. There's, we've looked at Lobotomy Corporation before when we looked at Melting Love. Do you think a god could be evil? I don't think God could be either good or evil. It's more neutral. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I think God. Here's the problem. The problem is that my level of knowledge is not my understandings have not been challenged enough for me to come up with a concrete answer for most of these things. Either way, let's return back to censored. So the reason why censored is so censored is because if they weren't censored, the human mind would not be able to comprehend them to the point of, it would be killing you. All right, that's what happens in the game when you get a bad work result. Right, and the reason why I like this, so why I like when something in fiction is censored so much is because of, obviously, right? It's the same thing as whenever you watch a horror movie or you play a horror game and they don't show the monster. You know it's there. You know that you know what it can do, but you don't know what it looks like. Because the reason why it works so well is because you, as the person viewing the said media, is the one who comes up with the idea of what it looks like. And of course, when you don't know what it looks like, your brain will instantly go towards what is the scariest thing to you. Right? It's not really the same way. It's not really the same as an angel per se, because there have been versions of angels in fiction who have been inspired by the seraphim design. This is a good example, but this one isn't an example that I would use. But you know, there's some seraphith. I've said the word too many times. Some examples of angels in fiction where they have censored what they look like because it is so out of, you know, out of the realm of human comprehension that, you know, viewing its appearance without the censorship would kill you, or something to the other. White Knight is not a good example of this because, you can see them. Do you think about that afterlife exists? Do you think there is suffering? There is a suffering afterlife, something neutral in afterlife, something peaceful in afterlife, or all of the above? Well, Dexter, this is the answer to your question. I already showed you, well, I linked you Wendigoon's playlist. You think that actually exists? I am more in the realm of thinking that these three areas exist than not. Right? It's obviously, right? Because nuance always exists. And why would there not be nuance in the afterlife? I'm scared to watch it, honestly. Why would you be scared? If there is any videos on Wendigoon's Wendigoon's discography or whatever that you could be scared of, it would be the conspiracy theory playlist, the conspiracy theory iceberg playlist. I don't want to overthink about things and being constantly terrified. Well, this playlist will get you even more terrified. Especially when you get further down the tiers. So and you know, it was an interesting video. It was an interesting series of videos to watch. Let me hang on. Surely he has the...
Hello everybody and welcome to the final part.
He used to have the link to
of the conspiracy theory iceberg. We're finally here at the last curtain.
He used to have the link to
and I'm wearing the hoodie that I wore.
Iceberg. I don't remember where it is. Maybe it's in one of the earlier videos. But if there's any videos you would get you would if there are any videos in his discography or whatever, videography that you would get scared of, it would be his conspiracy theory playlist, Rocco's Basilisk, AI in a box, maybe. SCPs. Yeah, that's the problem. But not the recapping of the Dante's the I forgot what they were called. Hang on. Dante's Inferno was from the Divine Comedy. Yeah. I don't think I don't think there's anything to be scared of in the 3 videos of Wendigoon recapping the Divine Comedy. Right? Anyway, let's get back to the game because there's no music playing in the background. So, it's been quiet as shit. Do you think liking fictional anime characters like lollies sexually would make me go to hell? No? What? No? Why would doing anything in fiction make you go to hell? Liking anything in fiction. Anyway, all I'm saying is Noah's an angel. She's a lolly. Well, no, she isn't a lolly. She's just petite. Yeah, I did. It was hardly any different from yesterday's, though.
というと、今日も胸を剣で貫かれたってこと？
Yeah, basically. At this point, I'm certain I'm seeing Diablo's memories.
それはどうして？
It was the same scene, but I could see everything a lot more clearly. Yeah, it was less bitrate killy, And I was able to hear him talking.
会話を？それは。
Yeah, he said something about a Valkyrie named Noah and how he was really hot when she was covered in his blood. And maybe I'm paraphrasing a little.
魔王が最後に何を言ったのか聞いたってことか。
Yeah, this is exactly what the Valkyrie looked exactly like this when she killed him. Never mind. Noah rushes over and looks up at me. Her sudden zeal causes me to retreat a step and put my hands up to keep her back. Yeah, I think so. I just heard what they talked about, and I saw the Valkyrie that killed him.
それは。
She had this beautiful, almost doll-looking face, doll-like face, kind of like yours. But surely there's no relation between the two, right? Huh? 2 pieces then connected in my mind. Took you long enough. I compared Noah and the Valkyrie. It's almost like they did the CG. They made the CG look similar to the dream on purpose to give. It's surely it's not to give the reader the connection, right? Surely it was Riku. Surely it was to give Riku the connection, but then this isn't exactly what he's seen. Their faces are eerily similar. I thought she looked familiar because of this resemblance. Their bodily structures couldn't be more different. Well, you say that, but Noah, you haven't seen Noah in fucking armor. What do you mean? Maybe if the Valkyrie was wearing a sailor uniform, you would see the resemblance more. However, Valkyrie's face is a spitting image of hers. the resemblance is uncanny, unless all angels look like Noah in face. I mean, not maybe there's a big titty Noah looking angel out there, whatever, in a different series, and then maybe maybe one of them looks like Love Miel. Never mind. What are you talking about? Because lust is one of the 7 deadly sins, or is that sin just towards other people that are real? Like, you see how I could be terrified since I don't actually know, like how I do actually know if I'm committing any one of those 7 deadly sins. Except, okay, here's the thing, Dexter. The 7 deadly sins are a thing because it is related to how those sins, in particular, hurt people. Right? I don't think you're committing the sin of greed just because you want an extra $100 in your bank account. All right? You're committing it when you're getting that $100 from stealing from a homeless man or whatever, right? In the same vein, what about sloth? You are committing that act upon yourself, right? More so sloth. The other ones you can make an argument about. You're committing those sins at the expense of someone else. You can do the same with the sin of sloth, but right, it works in the same way that you are committing those sins on yourself. Right? A gooner is committing lust, right? That is detrimental to their health. Right? Jerking off to lolly hentai once a day isn't gonna, it's not gonna do much. It's when it becomes a lifestyle. It's when it becomes your lifestyle to goon to lolly hentai. Like mine will be when I keep recording these visual novels. Never mind. So much so that I readily believed so much so that I'd readily believe you if you told me she was her sister. Yeah, she was really pretty. I guess that's why they call her the Valkyrie. Okay, here's the other thing, right? I understand why they didn't link the audio of the Valkyrie to Noah. Because then it'd make it a bit more obvious. Well, not quite all of it, but I got the gist of it. Diablo was about to die after being stabbed, but apparently he was smiling. I couldn't see his face, so I just went off what the Valkyrie said. Couldn't you have felt his face muscles? You felt other things about Diablo when he was dying. You couldn't feel his face. But I am confident he was smiling. He spoke with a certain smugness in his voice. And I don't think the Valkyrie would lie for no reason. At least I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think you would lie, Noah. Her expression turns pensive. And I see the Valkyrie again in her face. Did I just watch those Wendigoon videos? Do you think it would help me or make me more terrified? I think you should watch all of Wendigoon's videos, especially the ones that relate to Christianity, because he used to be like a Sunday school teacher or something. I don't remember. Well, I don't think even he himself expected himself to smile while on the verge of death. I mean, he's Christian. That's all I'm gonna say. He didn't seem surprised, though. like it was unexpected, but he quickly accepted it.
そうか。
Hey, Noah, is something bothering you? You've been acting a little strange.
そんな風に見える？
Yeah, it's almost like you're scared for Riku to see the connection between you and the Valkyrie. Yeah, more or less.
そうか。いや、不安にさせたのなら申し訳ない。
Okay, Dexter, can we just rip the bandit off? Is Noah the Valkyrie or related to the Valkyrie? Because, like, I'm gonna keep making these jokes if you don't answer yes or no.
君の今後にも関わってくる可能性があるからね。確認しておきたかっただけだよ。
We need to figure out why, as Kaguya mentioned, Diablo didn't have kids. Noah is similar to the other main heroines regarding that question. Okay, good. Good. So she is basically just... I mean, you say that? You say that it's similar, but out of all of the other heroines, Noah is the only one that looks eerily similar to her reincarnation, or her past self. Valkyrie is Noah's past life. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Why does no one else look like their past self except for Noah?
魔王はどうして笑ったりしたんだろう。
Like, the exact reason why he's able to make the connection is because Noah looks like the Valkyrie. I don't know. I couldn't really get into his head, into his mind. All I felt was this general sense of fulfillment.
命を落としたのに満足。
Her reaction seems slightly different from usual. Am I just imagining things? Or is there a deeper meaning behind her curiosity? Surely it wasn't her, right? No, it couldn't be the Valkyrie, the one who slayed Diablo. The seeds of doubt are planted in my mind. The purgatory, is that the place where it's determined if you go to heaven or hell, or is it a place where you just stay? I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen Mendigoon's video on Dante's Purgatorio, okay? You'll have a better understanding of Purgatory than me if you watch the video, because it'll be fresher in your mind.
念のため確認だけど、気分や体調に問題はないんだね。
Either way, I got the thumbnail for this VOD.
昨日よりも記憶が明確になって、魔王の死の記憶に触れた影響は？
Yeah. I feel fine for the most part. I stretch out my limbs to check. Well, enough talking. Why don't we eat? I can't think too much on an open stomach.
顔でも洗ってきたら？準備は僕の方でやっておくよ。
On an open
ブロ
stomach?
グ画面だ。
Most people say an empty stomach. What do you... an open stomach? Okay, sure. Maybe it's a Japanese thing and they're just localizing it. Alright, thanks. Oh, they're direct translating it. So as long as I do my best to not commit any of those 7 sins, I should be fine, essentially. I mean, I guess. That's one way to do it. After breakfast, I go back to my room and watch U-Pipe videos on my phone. But I can't focus whatsoever. My mind keeps circling back to that dream. I can't stop thinking about it. I drop my phone and flop down onto my bed. It was the same dream as the first time. The only difference, and what won't stop bothering me, is that I saw the Valkyrie's face, and I made the connection between her and Noah. Their faces are way too similar for it to just be a coincidence. The next question is, okay, if the Valkyrie is a version of I mean, if Noah is... If the Valkyrie is Noah from the past... Okay, there we go. When did Noah gain those memories? Right? Was it at the same time as Riku, where she got a dream like Riku did, but from the Valkyrie's perspective? Or was it like when Noah kissed Riku the first time and then she got so-and-so? Or like, did she always have those memories? I mean, there's got to be a reason why she looks so similar to the Valkyrie, right? The way Noah was acting feels odd too. The obvious answer is that Noah and that woman who defeated Diablo were the same person. But the woman I saw in my dream was an adult, whereas Noah's much younger. It doesn't add up. Also, Noah's an angel. I don't think age plays that big of a factor in terms of how an angel looks. Are we forgetting this fact? Or is it like in MML where the age of the monster girls, quote-unquote, the magical girls, they weren't like, you know, Lucy wasn't like 100 years old. She was just actually 15, right? I mean, 18, right, guys? Right, guys? All of the girls in MML were 18. Of course, if she grew up and appeared before me again, I would probably think they're the same person. Not to mention how surprised both Kaguya and that guy from her world were when they learned of Noah's existence.
あなたの方こそ何者？翼を生やした種族なんて初めて見る。魔族にだっていないわ。
はあ！空って！翼だなんて魔族にだっていないぞ。何者だお前！
Based on their reactions, I doubt Noah's a denizen of their world, who's come to steal Diablo's power, except for the fact that you say this, but those two examples were specifically referring to demons. Angels and demons are different. The Valkyrie would not be a demon, and the Valkyrie didn't show wings, I guess. Right? If they haven't made the connection to the Valkyrie with Noah, that means the Valkyrie never showed wings, even if she was referred to as the Valkyrie. Maybe that's her actual title, or you know, it's in the same vein that she was labeled a hero by the humans or something. But if my hunch is right, the Valkyrie who killed him has now appeared before his reincarnation. None of this makes sense. None of this makes any sense otherwise. Noah must be hiding something from us. What's her real aim? Maybe you shouldn't go down the... Maybe you shouldn't reach the worst conclusion imaginable. She's not here to finish me off. Once and for all, is she? Could be. Can't be. She's had countless opportunities thus far. She'd have no real need to protect me or pretend like she's acting in my best interest. Of course, I still know little about her. Though I can safely say she's not plotting to kill me. So for Wendigoon's videos about the Dante stuff, which order should I watch them? You should watch them in the order that the playlist puts them in. As in, you start with Inferno, and you end with Paradiso. Where does that leave me then? There are too many unknowns. And no matter how much I rack my brains, no answer comes to me. Screw this. I'll never be able to figure this out on my own. I get up from my bed and stretch. It's also better to start with Inferno because out of the three series in the Divine Comedy, the 3 parts in Divine Comedy, shut up Siri, Inferno's definitely the worst one. The first Inferno, second Purgatorio, third and lastly the Paradiso. Yes. Because here's the thing with Inferno. Most of the time, it was essentially a power fantasy where... Okay, here's the gist of how Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso works. So, Dante, who is a character in the Divine Comedy, is guided by Virgil through hell, purgatory, and heaven, right? In Inferno, there are a lot of people, a lot of characters in Dante's Inferno where it's basically just, oh, this character who is similar or the same named, who someone, the author of the Divine Comedy doesn't like, is in hell. Right? So it's basically a power fantasy. Inferno is basically a power fantasy of, oh, all of these people in Christianity that I don't like are in hell now. They're in different layers of hell. Alright? The reason why Purgatory and Paradiso aren't like that is because, obviously, there aren't as many people that he dislikes in either of those. In Purgatory or Heaven, right? Then I leave my room. Noah, do you have a minute? I slide open the door of the guest room Noah's staying in and walk inside. She simply looks at me curiously. Not really. Why are you looking at me like that? Well, you do think that those 3 things of afterlife exist in some way, similarly? Yes. Not in the exact way that the author of the Divine Comedy has made it out. What am I saying? I think hell, heaven, and purgatory exist, but not in the same way that the Divine Comedy depicts them, where there are layers to each. Right? I guess. She's acting like her usual self. There's no trace of that fretfulness from this morning. What are you doing? You think the layers are combined into one? Yes. I think there is one hell, one purgatory, one heaven, no layers in between. No layers for each. In each. Yeah, I was watching some videos, but I got a little bored. Probably still asleep. She stays up late gaming during breaks. Yeah, she was too busy playing Smash Her Brothers. Smash Bros. Smash Her Brother. Whatever they call it in the game. That's a very valid point, but I guess the time of day is important. She's big into online games, see? Yeah, more people are awake then. That's when the Americans are awake. Different people play in different times of day. Around this time of year, most people online during the day are kids, since they're not in school. Oh yeah, that too. For Japanese servers, the kids are on in the mornings. And according to her, playing with kids is a nightmare, and tons of griefers and rage quitters rage baiters. Then again, I'm pretty sure she's just biased. So yeah, it's important that she plays at the right time.
ふむ。よくわからないけど、重要な要素なら仕方ないのかな。
I don't really feel like playing games right now. Why don't we go out for a bit?
もちろん僕は構わないけど、意外だ。暑い中わざわざ出かけようだなんて。普段はあれほど嫌がっているのに。
Right. Well, sometimes you just want to get some fresh air, you know? Damn, it's hot. I start regretting my decision as soon as we step foot outside. The harsh sunlight beats down on me without a moment's delay, and I start sweating like a pig. I half consider turning back around and abandoning this whole idea.
それで、どこに行くの?
Some place to cool off, first of all. Why don't we go to the convenience store and get some ice cream? What do you want? Hanami Daifuku again? What happens to you in each, do you think? That's a good question. Yeah, okay. Here is the least nuanced way of my thought. This is the least nuanced way of my thought process in terms of each. In hell, you suffer eternal damnation. In purgatory, you basically nothing happens, right? Not in the way that you don't suffer, or you aren't like, how do I say this? Maybe, okay, for me, in hell, you suffer eternal damnation. In heaven, purgatory is just emptiness. Yeah, basically. Purgatory to me is basically the same way atheists imagine death. Right? Where after you die, there is nothing. That's my interpretation of purgatory. For heaven, well, I kind of have multiple, because I like the idea of reincarnation. I like the idea that when you die, it's kind of like this eternal bliss. There's a lot of depictions of heaven in comparison to hell and purgatory, and it's just an amalgamation of those kinds of things. I don't like that my memory gets lost, except for the fact that you wouldn't remember that you lived another life after you were reincarnated. Alright. But here's the thing, right? Reincarnation is the Buddhist interpretation of death, right? Not just heaven in general, because they don't have a concept of heaven or hell. They have reincarnation. And how you lived in life before you died determines what you become, what your next life is. Right? So, yeah. What about Earth then? What about Earth? Will Earth always exist? Well, no. Obviously not. Earth will eventually die out. If not from humans, then the sun expanding to the point where Earth is unsustainable to live on. So, you know, what do you think happens then? Well, by the time that happens, humans would probably be advanced enough in their civilization where they won't have to, where they're able to escape Earth, and instead of like, either they find a different star, they find a different star system where Earth basically, where there's basically an Earth 2.0, right? That's why there is a measurement, right? There is a measurement for planets that determines which one is the most Earth-like. Do you think humans will always exist in how we know it now, or do you think it will? Or do you think it depends? I think humans as a concept will exist, will continue to exist. Whether we look the same in, say, 10,000 years or a million years, who knows? There are a lot of interpretations of what humans will look like in a million years, especially from this book, I guess, called All Tomorrows, where essentially how it starts is, okay, humans have lived for millions of years and have evolved to become different things. And then this infinitely more advanced civilization known as the Q come to see humans and hate them, and then force and then essentially morph humans into different things that would that is essentially used as a form of torture. It's hard to summarize All Tomorrows because it's been a while since I've read anything about it. What do you think happens to pets according to how you think in afterlife and animals? What in the fact that some people think dogs don't go to heaven, and then all dogs go to heaven, right? What are you asking? What my stance is on that? All animals, except for the ones. Listen, it's the same as humans, but it's like, okay, most animals probably would go to heaven, except for ones where, there's always going to be a rotten apple in the bunch, even if, even for the animals that aren't trained into be essentially evil, right? I mean, most of the time, it's always, yeah, they're probably going to go to heaven. All dogs, all pets, all animals in general, I guess. Because in terms of animals, they don't really have a moral compass. They're just following they're just following instincts. Do you think aliens exist? And if they do you think that they would be bound by the same afterlife? Good question. If aliens existed, and if they died, if they have if they abide by the same moral compass that humans do, then I think, yeah, they would.
いや、今日は別のアイスにしておくよ。
Or do you think it's a separate but same afterlife? Maybe separate. Maybe same. Who knows?
花見大福も美味しいけど、外で食べるなら他のアイスにしておきたい。
Yeah, popsicles are the best on hot days. At the end of the day, Dexter, at the end of the day, the reason why people believe in heaven is because it's used as a coping mechanism for when their loved ones die. And believing that they live in heaven is a better way of thinking than if you just thought that they died and they will live in purgatory forever or whatever. If the animals and humans meet wanting to stay together romantically, you'd think it would be allowed. What? I'll go with a crunchy ice cream. They're great when it's hot out. When it's hot out, you just gotta make sure to eat it before it melts and falls on the ground.
ザクザクさんか。それもとても魅力的だけど。これは。
Not aliens, not animals. Yeah, I said that. If aliens and humans meet wanting to stay together romantically, do you think it would be allowed in the afterlife? Now, here's the thing. There is another interpretation of the afterlife where essentially it states that in the afterlife, all forms of desire cease to exist. Right? Now, the idea of that sounds depressing as fuck, but there are some people who interpret it. There are some people who interpret heaven as having that kind of ability or that kind of system because, right, a lot of times human desire is what leads to sin, committing a lot of it leads to people, it leads to sin, right? Essentially.
リク、ザクザクさんはちょっと待った。僕にいい考えがある。
Oh boy, what is it? It's the background. It's the park with the seemingly with the characters that are definitely not from other Ubisoft games in the background. Wanting to avoid walking on the burning hot asphalt, we head to the park instead. After wiping the sweat off her brow under the shade of a tree, she pulls out the popsicle we bought.
はい。
Hang on.
バックログ画面だ。
That's not a popsicle. I don't know what it's called, but that's not... I don't think people call that a popsicle. If heaven exists, I would want to be able to be with a fictional anime lolly romantically, even if it's like a simulation. IDK, it's complicated for me. Okay, well, then you're going with the American Dad approach, where in American Dad, one of their interpretations of heaven is that in okay, let me be specific. In the episode where the rapture happens, their interpretation of heaven is that every human who goes to heaven is given is assigned a room, and in that room and that room is where all of your desires exist, or something or the other, right? So in that interpretation, your room would have your favorite anime lolly in it, and you'd be able to do whatever or something. He splits the tube in half and presents me with one of them. Thanks. I take it.
これはこうやって二人で分け合って食べるものなんだろ?
Well, you don't have to. I usually eat both when I get it.
アマネと分け合ったりはしないの?
Not really. Maybe we did when we were younger. There's not much reason for now. Not much reason to now. We'll just put what we don't finish in the fridge, for the other to have whenever. The way she's focusing so much on the sharing aspect makes this feel almost romantic in a sense. That interpretation, what if you wanted to be the person you loved on Earth, wanted to be with the person you loved on Earth? Would it be the real person, or that person? Would it be the real person if that person wanted that too? Well, considering that this interpretation of heaven was in the same episode where the rapture happens, yes, it would. But if said person was still alive when you died and you went to heaven, I don't think it would not be the same person. Right? Because okay, here's the problem. Here's the problem. Would it be a real person or fake? Or would you even know? Good question. Here's the thing. Here's the problem. Here's the big problem. The concept of heaven, hell, purgatory is so nonsensical in the sense that how could there be a place that you go to after you die where someone who has not lived a good life has to face eternal damnation, someone who has not lived a good life, but not to the point where they have to suffer as much as the other person has to live a life of nothingness, and then eternal suffering just sounds cruel to me. Well, maybe you shouldn't have killed those 3 people. Then you wouldn't have gone to hell. and then someone who's lived a good life gets to live out their wildest fantasies. Right? Who knows? Maybe the only reason these places exist is because when any human dies, they dream about they dream about, you know, something or the other. Right? If they lived a good life, they dream about their version of heaven. And when someone who's lived a bad life dies, their guilty conscience makes them dream about hell, right? Something or the other, you know? Because understand that the place of heaven or hell does not exist. Because, well, maybe it does, but where would it exist? Maybe the idea of heaven and hell relates back to the theory that your consciousness is detached from your real body. You're attached from this body, right? And your real consciousness is floating in the air somewhere, right? And will be dragged down to hell or taken up into heaven when you die or whatever, right? We just, you know, we're just floating in a sea of consciousness. Do you think human souls exist? Physically, no. But metaphorically, yes. Even though all we're doing is sharing a popsicle, I could feel my heart rate rising. To distract myself from the embarrassment, I pull on the little plastic top of the tube and pry it open. What does that mean? What do you mean, what does that mean? If it existed physically, where would it be? Right? That's why I'm saying the human soul would exist metaphorically. Metaphorically exist. In the same way that your consciousness exists metaphorically. Right? You can't pry open someone's brain and find their consciousness. Right? That's not how it works. So then, where would it be if it exists physically? is the brain your consciousness? Then in the same vein, your heart would then in the same vein, my heart would be my soul, something. So it is a physical soul, but it's just that we can't see it. No, because a person's consciousness does not exist physically. It only exists metaphorically, right? You can't find someone's consciousness. That's why people have used that interpretation, Do you think that souls actually wander on Earth? As in ghosts? Maybe. Who knows? Mimicking my emotions, Noah opens hers and brings the tip of it to her mouth. Is it because it's cold? You can squeeze and eat as it pushes up. I also bite around the tip to get the ice cream out. If all you do is suck, your mouth's gonna get sore fast. Wouldn't purgatory be like a lost soul or something? I mean, I've thought of that interpretation, where if ghosts are real, then those ghosts would be in purgatory, right? Until the soul feels at peace or something. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of fiction that has used that interpretation, where the ghosts on Earth are only there because they haven't found peace or whatever. The summer heat must be making it easier to eat. Her eyes sparkle with joy as she informs me. It's been a while since I've had one of these myself. The crunchy texture of it is really nice. It really is nice. Man, this takes me back. Isn't there a thing where ghosts exist, but they can't let go of something on Earth? Getting into some deep discussions. Listen, this all started because of angels and shit. So, you know, not really. I mean, I like them, but it's been a while since I've gone out of my way to buy one. I don't commute to school by train, so I rarely ever stop to get treats on the way back. Going to the convenience store basically requires me to make a detour. I've talked more about fucking heaven than actually playing the game. Yeah, they're easy to eat, and they're nice and cold. Here we are, sitting under the shade of a big tree, eating popsicles as we watch the sunlight reflect off the grass. But it's still incredibly hot. There are a few people walking around the park, but no kids playing at all. The only sounds we hear are the wind blowing and each other as we eat. It's making me feel a bit awkward. As thoughts race through my mind, I eat my popsicle a little more slowly than quietly. Sorry for dragging you outside in this heat.
それで
ん
こんな風に僕を連れ出したのには何か理由があるんだよね。違う？何か僕に聞きたいことがあるんじゃないの？
Okay, this all started because Noah's an angel, and the Valkyrie is Noah, and then we talked about angels, and then I started talking about the Big Bang, and the fact that if the Big Bang exists, how did it come to be? And so we brought up Christianity because one interpretation of it is that God was the one who created the Big Bang. But then I'm like, then if God how does God exist, right? What happened before God? You know? And then we expanded on that in terms of and started talking about heaven and hell and purgatory. And then I talked about Wendigoon because he has three videos summarizing the Divine Comedy / Dante's Inferno, Purgatorio, Paradiso. And then we brought up how my interpretation of hell, purgatory, and heaven is, and then we started talking about the soul and consciousness. So, you know, deep shit. Was it that obvious?
君らしくなかった。この暑い中に外に出るなんてところは特に。
Yeah, I always complain about it. I'd take a deep breath, gather my thoughts, and redirect my attention to her. There's something's been bothering me. The dream I had last night was more or less as I explained, except for one thing I didn't tell you. The Valkyrie I saw had the same face as you. Not like a sister or mother type of resemblance. You looked similar. You looked so similar, it felt strange. You looked so similar, it felt like I was staring at you. I'm guessing that's not a coincidence.
似てて当然だよ。
I mean, I'm glad they haven't dragged this out that much. So, you know, it's not that big of a spoiler when I ask Dexter to just rip the band-aid off and tell me if the Valkyrie is Noah. So, are you...
まさか笑うことになるなんて自分でも驚きだ。最後を飾る言葉を考えてたのに、こんなことしか言えないなんて様にならない。魔王が最後に言ったのはこんなことだったはずだ。
Oh, you really are the Valkyrie? But like, I believe you, of course. But why are you so young? The woman I saw in my dream was a grown adult.
僕は一度死んだんだ。そして天使に生まれ変わった。
Finally, music. We've only heard the fucking screaming of cicadas in the background.
魔王が異世界の人間に生まれ変わったのと同じようにね。
You were the Valkyrie in your previous life?
その通りだ。僕は天使になる前、異世界のネーベ大陸に生まれた人族の女の子だった。
Ah. Right. Interesting. So, huh.
でもまさか戦乙女なんて恥ずかしい呼ばれ方をしているなんて思わなかったよ。
Okay, yeah, I was right in thinking that Valkyrie was only was only a title that the humans gave her after she killed Diablo. I also read online that in Christianity, and when you go to heaven, you wouldn't be with the person you married and loved a lot on Earth. If you did, and it would be essentially replaced with only God. Excuse me? okay. The thing about what comes after death is that nobody knows for sure, because everybody who does know is dead. It's okay to wonder about it, but just know that there's no way to know for sure. I personally wouldn't think too hard on it. True, that's also a good thought process. But here's another interpretation that people have had on heaven / hell. So this is a weird interpretation, right? It requires a bit of thinking, but essentially how some people have interpreted heaven and hell is that heaven and hell and purgatory in the same vein exist at the same point in time, right? And what I'm saying is, and what I mean by that is that everything that has happened in the past and everything that will happen in the future exists at the same point in heaven and hell. So, in what I'm interpreting as to what you're saying in that comment is that, hang on, let me read it again. I also read online that in Christianity, and when you go to heaven, you wouldn't be with the person you married and loved a lot on earth. If you did, it would be essentially replaced with only God. Okay, what I was trying to interpret by what you're saying is that the husband, you die, but your wife is still alive. Right? Either way, the interpretation of everything in heaven and hell exists at the same point is that you die, you go to heaven, but your wife is also there, but died at a different point in time, right? But because everything that will happen, or also everything that will happen exists at the same point in heaven, then all of your loved ones who are still alive would be in heaven, right? Something like that. I mean, it's an interesting take, because okay, here's the problem, and it has nothing to do with the interpretation, with that interpretation, but the reason I don't like it is because there is a movie and its sequel known as R.I.P.D. And essentially what this movie is that Ryan Reynolds, the main character of R.I.P.D., dies and basically becomes a cop for heaven to fight against demons that escaped hell and are on Earth or whatever, right? They use that interpretation in that movie of heaven existing at a single point. So it's determined if I'm going to heaven or hell. That's confusing, right? I mean, you know, you could think of it as there are two versions of you that exist simultaneously in heaven and hell, and the version of you that you take over through your consciousness is the one that best suits how you lived your life, essentially. Right? So if you've been a good boy, your consciousness will go to the version of you in heaven, and then I don't think that everyone is innately good and evil. Well, no, everyone is innately good. But how would that explain purgatory? Right. That's also a good question. But that's the thing, though, right? Is that it's a weird way to think about purgatory existing in one point, because if you are a ghost on Earth, you are in purgatory, but if purgatory exists at the same point, obviously everyone who sees you is in you for the first time in their present. But what would be the ghost's present if there is no past and future? Right? Who knows? Right. I remember Kaguya saying something along those lines. Okay, Kaguya hasn't said anything like I just said. Alright. I'm spouting bullshit here. How the Valkyrie disappeared after killing Diablo, and no one knows where she came from or who she was. What happened?
寿命だよ。魔王を撃ってからほどなくして僕は死んだんだ。
Are ghosts just a glitch in the simulation? Ghosts? Okay, if we're doing simulation theory right now, ghosts would be the ghosts would be code that they didn't patch out. Right? What? Yeah, I don't know either, Riku. She didn't look that old.
君が夢で見た戦乙女の姿。何歳に見えた？
What? Maybe early to mid-20s?
あの時の僕は生まれてから4年か5年。その程度だったと思う。
Okay, so you were a weird human. What?
僕はね、魔法技術によって作られたんだ。
So you weren't even human?
いや、僕の前世である戦乙女か。
Do you think the simulation theory could actually exist? And if so, do you think that we would wake up as ourselves in real life if it's a VR thing? Except that if it's a VR thing, then it's not a simulation, because then your body would exist in the real world. That's Matrix shit. All right, the Matrix is not the Matrix is not simulation theory. The simulation theory is that you exist in a computer. All right, there is no real version of you out in the real world. Right? I mean, I guess you could say that's one interpretation, but I don't think that's what most people would think of when they think of simulation theory. But I never watched the Matrix movies. Okay, but what is the Matrix? The Matrix is a simulation, right? To boil it down to the basic terms, right? The Matrix is basically a simulation, as we're talking about, but everyone in the Matrix exists in the real world, right? And they're overseen by some fucking alien thing or whatever. I haven't seen the Matrix in a while. It's been a while. I haven't seen the Matrix in a bit. Especially because, well, it's only the first Matrix that's really good. The others kind of fall off. I mean, you know. But the reason I like Neil deGrasse Tyson's interpretation of simulation theory is because, I mean, it makes sense, right? There is a 50% chance that we are either the first simulation or we are the last simulation. Simulations exist and God exists at the same time. How would that work? How would we be categorized as humans? Here's why. This is why I don't believe in simulation theory. Because it doesn't work in physics. There is no physical way for you to be able to create a simulation like Earth, because if you have created if you have, okay, you as the first humans have as the only humans have created a simulation that is the exact same thing as everything that happened in the first world, right? But in that second world, what do you think is going to happen? They're also going to create a simulation, and then that world creates a simulation. That world creates a simulation. Essentially, how the fuck does the first world have enough power, enough energy to sustain the second world, or the third, or the fourth, or the, you know? So, right, we either are the first world, or we are the only other world. Wouldn't the second simulation just not work? No, what I'm saying is that if we as humans have, or we as humans who are in a simulation were created in the same way as the humans in the first world, we would also create a simulation. But the problem with that is now that the first world has to have essentially infinite amount of energy at that point to sustain every single other simulation. But if there is only one simulation, there is you could sustain that with a finite amount of energy, because even if it takes billions of trillions of years in this simulation, it will eventually, everything in this simulation will eventually die, right? Here's why it's confusing. Here's why I don't believe in the simulation theory. And it's not because the amount of energy it would take to do all of this is incomprehensible. It's incomprehensible because no one in our world today has created anything similar to a simulation that is so real that we are unable to distinguish it between this world and the world in the computer, right? That's not why I don't think the simulation theory isn't true. The reason why I don't think it's true is because of the fact that we are thinking about this, right? The fact that we as humans have thought of the fact that we live in a simulation means that we as humans are also capable of creating our own simulation in time. So, of course, that would mean that the humans in the first world would need to provide the second world enough power to create their own simulation. And then the humans in the second world would need to create enough power for the humans in the third world to create their own simulation, and then so on and so forth. Like a fucking daisy chain kind of thing, where now, the first world doesn't have enough power. And so neither does the second world, and neither does the third, or the fourth, or the fifth, right? So it just, you know, it doesn't make sense at the beginning, right? If we do make a simulation and God exists, would he start putting people in the simulation in heaven or hell when they die? Well, that's the thing. We would become gods of that simulation. We become the gods of that simulation, right? That's the thing. You were created?
母親のお腹の中にいる段階から様々な魔法による実験を受けたんだ。意図的に強化するために。
get much past billions of trillions of years and you start to approach the death of the universe. True. Isn't creating life as humans, other than through natural sex, like taboo? Yes, it is. But that was, you know, that was old-timey. That was old-timey think, right? The humans far into the future with the technology to create a simulation would be far beyond the thought process of thinking that creating human life in a simulation is taboo. Or are you talking about Noah? Because here's the thing, we haven't said anything about angelic chaos except at the start, because you, as the fucking only chatter before Byte came in, has talked about anything other than Noah. You have, this is the first time it's been relevant to angelic chaos because we're talking about religion, but it doesn't change the fact that this has nothing to do with angelic chaos.
こちらで言うならデザイナーチャイルドだっけ。この前漫画で読んだけど。
This is uncharacteristic of me, isn't it? No. What is uncharacteristic is that you're talking about something that relates to angelic chaos. Right? The characteristic thing of you is to not talk about the game we're playing. Alright, that's the characteristic thing. The uncharacteristic thing is you talking about something that is actually relevant to angelic chaos. Even slightly. Even if it's ever so slightly relevant. Because I don't think they're going to be talking about heaven and hell in fucking angelic chaos. I don't think they've talked about God in angelic chaos. The only reason angelic chaos is even in the name is because of Noah, who used to be human. Quote unquote human. Now that we don't even know if she's human. Was human.
戦乙女の場合、強大なマナをその身に宿すよう強化が行われたんだ。
You can do that much. You can do that with magic. Wait, why did she look so old?
操作されたものだよ。一日でも早く戦場に出せるように。
Going from lollies to metaphysics. Yeah, we're talking about philosophical shit here. Is that even like legal in that world?
まさか。あちらでも禁忌とされる行為だし、露見すればそしりを免れない。戦乙女の出自も経歴も不明とされているのは、知られればただでは済まないからだよ。
So, is that why she died when she did? When she did?
人族ではありえないマナを宿した影響か、強制的に成長させた反動か。どちらにしても実験は失敗だったんだ。壊れた道具に価値なんてない。魔王と戦ってからほどなく戦乙女は死んだ。そして天使になった。
But why an angel? Is that normal?
どうだろう。僕もその理由は知らないけど、不憫に思って拾われたのかもしれないね。
But who's they? You haven't mentioned God in any form, any sort of way. Who's that? Thank you, Riku.
天にいわゆる神様。
I just needed to bitch and moan a bit more and I would have got my answer. Also, thanks Chatarino for telling me I'm live. And then now I'm offline again.
実験の影響は肉体だけじゃなかったんだ。マナの影響はその人の根源に及ぶ。実験によって根源まで傷を負った僕は生まれ変わることもできずに消滅してしまうはずだった。
That was a lot more than I expected. I would have thought Noah would have contact with God or someone that serves God or talks to someone that serves God directly. Or talks to someone that serves God directly. You're thinking of Mike Let's Cupid. Hence why you said you were saved. So does that mean you came down here to figure out why Diablo was smiling?
魔王とリクは別人だ。天使としての使命を下されたことに偽りはない。リクを守ることが僕がここにいる理由だ。
Okay, now we can get into what Angelic Chaos's interpretation of heaven is. In what Ubisoft's interpretation of heaven is in this game. Because, right, Noah died around the same time Diablo did. But why is Noah here now and not when Riku was younger, right? Because she, as an angel, existed way before Riku did, right? Or am I misinterpreting? Here's the thing. I don't know how long it's been since Diablo died and Riku was born. Right? Maybe it's 2,000 years like in MML, in Magical Marriage Lunatics, where Yuta's ancestor from 2,000 years ago wanted to fuck a vampire queen from 2,000 years ago, and they weren't able to do it until 2,000 years later. Where they ruined the story. Never mind.
ただ、なんというか、魔王が笑うなんてこと考えもしなかったんだ。戦乙女は残虐、非情、冷酷、無慈悲、人族を滅ぼそうとしている魔王を一日でも早く撃たなければならない。そんな風に刷り込まれていたからね。
But don't angels have some sort of contact with God unless it's indirect? Not unless, even if it's indirect. Well, Dexter, you can find out more about angels if you watch the Wendigoon video on his explanation of the 9 angels. Well, they certainly gave him a bad rap. Kaguya's telling of the events never painted him as this embodiment of evil, hell-bent on destroying the world. I was referring to Noah in this game. Well, you're talking about angels, so, you know, that doesn't seem to be bias either. From Noah's tone, I can sense that she realizes he wasn't that bad either.
でも実際、戦場で対峙する魔王は恐ろしい存在だったよ。それだけの力を有していたからね。
So, is it because Noah became an angel that she remembers everything that Valkyrie did? I mentioned Noah before that. Well, yeah, but you aren't referring to... But... When you're talking about angels having contact with God, you aren't saying Noah. You're saying angels. You're using the entire concept of angels as the generalization. I did. You referred to Noah before that.
バックログ画面だ。なのにそれを見たときに、
Okay, this is your fault.
ようやく疑問を持つことができた。
Where's the fucking log?
バックログ画面だ。なのに最後は笑ったんだ。まるで親しい人と世間話でもするみたいな調子で穏やかに。それを見たときにようやく疑問を持つことができた。
Thanks for the hydrate.
後悔とは少し違うかな。
And the stretch.
争いが終わったことで救えた命はたくさんある。その中には魔族の命も含まれる。だから、
Yeah,
悔いたりしない。
but is it really a good thing if the bad guys were the winners? Right? if Noah is saying that she as Valkyrie was forced to believe that Diablo was a bad guy, then doesn't that mean that the humans were the bad guys in the war? But then the war, the war ended up with the humans winning. So, does that mean the bad guys won?
でも、魔王は違う。恨んで当然だ。憎悪を抱いて当然だった。なのに、笑ったんだ。
Maybe it's because he was killed by a cute girl.
それを見た戦乙女は疑問を持った。自分がしたことは一体何だったのか。魔王を撃つ必要は本当にあったのか。もしそんな必要がなかったとしたら、人体実験までされて生まれた戦乙女は何のために生まれたんだろう。
And those questions haven't gone away.
だからね、さっきも言った通りだ。今さら魔王の命を狙ってるなんてことはない。
No, she doesn't have a desire to take Diablo's life again, but she does have a desire to fuck his descendant, Noah.
変な話を聞かせたね。誠に申し訳ない。
It's fine. I wanted clarity about that dream. For my own reasons too. I can't get over how he felt so content during his death. What was he thinking? Why was he smiling?
リク、
I mean, it doesn't... I mean, it doesn't make much sense. Since the last situation you'd expect someone to be happy in. That's the last situation you'd expect someone to be happy in. But he was smiling genuinely. That had to mean he wasn't afraid of dying. It was fine. It was a fine outcome in his mind.
そんなこと。
It's possible. Why deny it? Go back to what you said. What you just said. Countless lives were saved by the war ending, and demons among them. Didn't you just finish MML? Yes. What do you mean? I literally just uploaded Kakanuke today. Maybe he realized that and felt joy. Of course, I don't know his true thought process at that time. I can choose the optimistic interpretation or the pessimistic one, but there's no way to know either way. Kakanuke, yeah, Dexter, don't you remember? Don't you remember that I literally said at the end of Kakanuke's All Ages route that I would play that after I finished Magical Marriage Lunatics? You posted Kakanuke today. It's not on Patreon. Dexter, why would it be on Patreon when the VODs have been up since 2024? You've already seen me play. You've already seen me play Kakanuke for the hate scenes. Okay. You understand that I'm not going to post the Dexter. You understand that I have to post the VODs first on my main channel, not the full VODs, just the cut down to however long I have them usually on my main channel. The hate scenes come after. You're not uploading the stuff you played up. You're uploading the stuff you played of Kakanuke recently. Not correct. I don't think the first episode is gonna have a hate scene. True. I'm uploading all of what I've already played on my main channel, right? You can watch it on my main channel. You can watch me play Kakanuke on my main channel. Or you can watch through all of the VODs, right? On my VOD channel, if you want, It's gonna be the same. Thanks for subscribing with Prime. It's gonna be the same with Angelic Chaos, right? After I finish 9-9, I'm gonna be posting Angelic Chaos plus the hate scenes. But with in regards to Angelic Chaos, right? The hate scenes will be separate on the Prime on Patreon.
そうかもね。リクの言う通りだ。もし魔王が遺恨を残していたとしたら、あんな風に笑うことはなかっただろうね。バックログ画面だ。
I could choose the optimistic interpretation or the pessimistic one, but there's no way to know either way. Yeah, okay. I see. Well, yeah. You're a founder because the way the founder badges work is that the streamer becomes an affiliate, right? That gives the chatters the ability to subscribe. Only a certain amount gets the founder's badge, right? How many founders badges are left? I don't know. I don't know where to find them. Yeah. And then it's like, after a certain amount of subscribers or followers or whatever, then you get more founders badges after. It's why I didn't have a founder's badge when I first subscribed to Smugglerana, but now I do. I was the first founder, right? Yes. Well, no. Pontus was. But, you know, he was a friend, so it doesn't count. Technically, you were. You're the... Pontus is not a regular. He's just a friend. Same way Moose isn't a regular. He's just a friend that uses his Prime on me whenever he remembers to.
魔王にとっても喜ばしいことか。そうなのかもしれないね。
She's smiling right now, but there's something somber about it. It almost seems like she's doing it to reassure me, and maybe even herself. Seeing that sad smile hurts me. What do I even say at a time like this? I feel a myriad of emotions. I'm definitely thankful to her, and I feel like there are so many things I could and should say. But I can't think of anything, as all I feel is anguish and shame over my inability to alleviate her fears. I brace myself for the scorching sun and get up. Once exiting the shade, I extend my hand towards her. It's way too hot. We'll end up fainting if we stay out here too long. Shall we go home? Go back home? She slowly places her hand atop mine, or was about to. Right before our hands touch, she stops. Her hand stays there, evincing the doubt in her heart. Come on. Impatient, I go ahead and take her hand. It doesn't quite feel like we're holding hands. There's too much of an element of force. Grabbing her dainty hand, I pull her up and out of the shade. After reacting with surprise at first, the relenting sunlight illuminates a smile on her face.
そうだね。帰ろう。やっぱり外は暑いからね。
You could barely go outside for half an hour at this time of day. At this time of year, the walk to the convenience store and back home was enough to make me sweat. Well, we did spend a good while talking in the park too.
おかえり。
She only woke up now.
ただいま、あまね。
When'd you get up?
さすがにね。お兄とノアちゃんはどっか行ってたの？
We went to a love hotel. I mean, Just to the convenience store.
アイスを買いに行ってたんだ。
ふーん。で、なんで手をつないでるわけ？
Because we fucked at the park. I mean, we talked at the park. Well, a few things happened.
僕が道に迷いそうになってね。リクが僕の手を引っ張って帰ってきたんだよ。
え？どこのコンビニに行ってたの？
Second base. I mean, just to the park. Just up near the park.
近所じゃん。迷う要素ある？
まあ、ちょっとあってね。
Yeah, I spent more time talking about the concept of heaven and hell instead of playing the game.
意味深な。で、いつまで手をつないでるわけ？
Oh, right. Not much reason to anymore.
もう大丈夫だよ。ありがとう。
She lets go of my hand with a beaming smile on her face. There's a hint of reluctance in her actions. I think at first, but that's probably just my imagination.
というか、アイス買いに行ったんでしょ？なんで手ぶら？
Now she brings up that that she doesn't get a popsicle. We walked around a bit after we ate them, after and ate them then. But the heat was starting to get to us, so we came back.
この天気なら分かりきってたことでしょうに。
ちょっと歩きたい気分だったんだ。
何それ？もしかして何か悩み事？
悩みというほどじゃない。それに、もう解決したしね。
なんか気になるんですけど。
それは、二人の秘密というやつだよ。
Huh? Oh. Yep.
とりあえずポリスメンの出張サービスお願いしとく？
For what reason? Noah's 18, right? I mean, to be fair, she's probably a lot older than that, but you know, the way Riku the way Riku sees Noah is that she's younger than she actually is. Put that phone down. You're actually gonna show up. They're actually gonna show up if you call.
あまねに心配してもらうようなことはなかったから、安心してくれ。
そう？あとさ、お兄の「ね」はキモいからやめておいた方がいいよ。
Well, luckily for you, I agree. I sure as hell won't. By the way, what are you doing? Wanna play something together?
そりゃ私は構わないけど。じゃあちょっと本体取ってくる。リビングでいいよね。
Are you gonna join us, Noah?
もちろんだ。
I mean, okay, what is
天
it?
使創造リブート。
It's only her fucking school uniform. Today's dream was a lot more fuzzy than yesterday's. I get out of bed. And again, I take off my sweaty t-shirt. After yesterday's talk, it'd be incredibly awkward for me to go up to tell her and request. It'd be awkward for me to go up to her and request more erection practice. I'd rather she be the one to take the lead. Pushing it myself would feel like sexual harassment. Actually, it totally would be. Well, there's no point in getting worked up about it. More importantly, I'm worried about Noah. I was too preoccupied with my own problems to realize that angels have their own issues too. Yeah, I was too preoccupied talking about heaven and hell and simulation theory and ghosts and consciousness and the soul and never mind. And that's not even considering the whole past life stuff. And reincarnation. I feel like that would be all good to ask no matter the circumstances. No, it's fine if the woman asks to do it, okay? It's weird if the guy asks for the woman to do it. It's not weird if the woman asks to do it. Alright, that's use your soft logic. She's still probably thinking about our conversation from yesterday. Well, I wish I could do something to alleviate her fears. Maybe I'm asking for too much. She seems like a pretty independent person. In the end, only she can decide how to take everything I said to her yesterday. All I can do is be myself and be kind to her. Anything other than that would probably just come across as weird to her. But I'm still worried about her. I'm a pretty nonchalant person, so it wouldn't affect me. But I'm not sure Noah can hold back her emotions like that. Especially when she's had to bottle them up for so long. Trying to weigh her down further would only, with my own problems, would just be plain awful to me. Awful of me. I know it's possible she's putting on a brave act to keep from worrying me. Well, anyway, I better go get breakfast.
あら、おはよ
Hey.
う。珍しいわね。長期の休みなのに朝からリクの顔を頻繁に見られるなんて。
Yeah, he was busy trying to jerk it and then realized he couldn't get it up. He remembered he couldn't get it up.
何？ノアちゃんがいるからだらしない姿を見せないようにしてるとか？小僧が一丁前に色気づいちゃって。
Quit making stuff up. I'd get rid of my bedhead if I wanted to look good.
そりゃそうか。
So, where is she?
洗濯物取りに行ってくれてる。気にせずそんなのリクに任せておけばいいって言ったんだけど、お世話になってるからこれくらいのことはって強く言ってくれてね。拒絶するわけにもいかないでしょ。本当にいい子ね、ノアちゃんって。
Wow. I do the laundry every day, and I don't get thanked even once.
それに関しては感謝してるような、自分たちの洗濯物でもあるんだから当然のような。ああ、でもリクまであまねみたいな性格だったらちょっと大変なことになってたかもね。あんたがお兄ちゃんしてくれてるから助かってる部分はあるかも。
Whoa, I'm gonna tear up.
ま、たまには褒めて伸ばしとかないとね。さてと、そろそろ行かないと。
Oh, I guess it's that time.
ノアちゃん、私そろそろ行くから。悪いけどよろしくね。
いってらっし
行ってきまーす。じゃ、後のことは任せた。
Have a good day at work.
行ってきます。
Noah returns to the living room right after Mum leaves. In her hands is the laundry basket.
ゃい。おはよう、リク。
Oh, hey.
リク？
Want me to help with the laundry?
僕に任せてくれて構わない。
Well, it's usually my job, so I feel weird watching someone else do it.
そういうものなの？
Yeah, I guess I'm just too used to it on weekdays. It'll get done faster if we do it together anyway.
ふむ。わかった。リクがそこまで言うのなら。
He takes the clothes from the basket and spreads them out. I take them and hang them out to dry. Take them and hang them out to dry. Then again, there's not a whole lot of laundry to whole lot of laundry today. We're finished in minutes, and probably head back to the cool living room. Another day of sweltering heat.
少し出ただけでも汗をかいちゃいそうだね。
She says, a bright smile on her face. That smile reassures me that all the awkwardness from yesterday is gone. At least, I hope she managed to lift her mood a bit. As much as I want to ask, I don't want to reopen those wounds. So I make the decision not to pry.
リクは意外と家事もする方だよね。
Well, I have to take care of myself too. I wouldn't say I like it per se, but I'll do it if it needs to be done.
ふむ。嫌いな家事はないの？
All of them. I mean, deep cleaning. It's a never-ending process, I swear.
こだわり次第ということか。なるほど。つまり、リクはあれだね。嫌だ、面倒だ、なんて言いながらも、掃除を始めたら細かいことがどんどん気になっていくんだね。
True. How did you nail that? I'm not like that. So, my cleaning is the bare minimum.
まだ短い間とはいえ、四六時中そばにいるんだ。それくらいのことは僕にだってわかるさ。
When I clean, I do the bare minimum, as in the floor. Maybe I'm just too transparent.
そうとも言えるだろうね。確かにリクにはわかりやすいところがある。だから、さっきから僕のことを気にかけているのもわかる。
If you noticed, I might as well ask, how are you feeling today? Any better?
悪くない。僕の中にずっと引っかかっていたことだからね。電源を入れたり消したりするみたいな切り替えはできないよ。でも昨日、リクのおかげで一つの区切りみたいなものはできたと思う。だからさっきの悪くないは言葉通りの意味に受け取ってくれると嬉しい。
Alright.
なんだか申し訳ないね。
What for?
僕はリクを守るために来たのに、むしろ君に心配をさせるなんて本末転倒もいいところだ。
Really? I don't see a problem with it. You came here to prevent Diablo's power from consuming me. I'd say you already fulfilled your mission, more or less.
ありがとう。そう言ってもらえると、嬉しい。
No, her mission is fulfilled when you can finally get it up without Diablo, without anything happening with Diablo. Seriously, I'm the one who owes you a thank you.
僕もお礼を言うべきだと思ったんだよ。いきなり押しかけた僕を受け入れてくれた上に優しくしてくれてるんだから。
Is that really a big deal? I feel like anyone would have done the same.
突然押しかけてくるなんて迷惑だと思うのが普通だ。なんなら前世の魔王に関連する怒りを僕にぶつけてきたって不思議じゃない。
What? I'd never do that.
そうだね。でも前世がしでかしたことが今の自分の生活に影響を及ぼすなんて理不尽だからね。八つ当たりの一つや二つしたくなってもおかしくないと僕は思うよ。
Don't get me wrong, it is annoying, but taking it out on you wouldn't solve anything.
すぐにそんな風に言えるのがリクのいいところだよ。
Besides, he can take it out on you after he can get it up, because he'll do it in never mind. It would really do me no good. If anything, it'd make things worse. But I guess everyone's different. And there are plenty of people who have a short temper, and plenty among those who would take out their anger on someone. Is that what she's been thinking about this whole time? That's kind of saddening. Though it does give me an idea. You want to eat breakfast now? That was his idea.
で、何？私さっき起きたところなんだけど。
That would be venting a different kind of frustration. It's the only frustration that Riku has at the moment. I need to ask you something. What's trendy these days?
何それ？どういうこと？もうちょっと明確にしてほしいんだけど。
Sorry. I'll try to explain. This is for Noah. I'm a little concerned about something. You wouldn't say we only took her in because we were forced to, right?
なし崩しっていうか、断る選択肢はない感じではあった気がする。前世帰りなんてことが起きた直後だったしね。
Yeah, but it's not like we want her gone. It just took a little used to getting. It just took a little getting used to.
まあね。それがどうかした？
I was just thinking, like, maybe Noah thinks she's imposing on us.
お兄がそんなこと言うくらいだし、なんかあった？
I mean, not really. I just kind of get that feeling from her. Maybe it might just be my imagination.
はっきりしない男だよね、お兄はさ。
Hush you. I've gotten more opportunities to chat with her now that it's summer break, and that's the impression I got. I'll try to hide the whole Valkyrie thing for now, though. I shouldn't tell others without getting permission first. So yeah, a welcoming party or something would be... a welcoming party or something would be too much, and it's too late for one anyway. But it would be a good idea to go somewhere together since it's summer break. Not that I'd know where.
だから流行りね。
It shouldn't be hard, but I can't pretend I know this stuff. I really want to do something for her.
お兄って、もしかして好きなの？ノアちゃんのこと。
Well, why am I doing her out if I didn't? What? I mean, I like her, sure.
そういうことじゃなくって、異性として好きなのかってこと。分かってんでしょ？
Why are you randomly asking me this?
いや、お兄がそんな気遣いを見せるくらいだから。
This isn't love. It's not. I just can't bear to see her all gloomy. We owe her a lot.
まあいいんじゃない？それでノアちゃんが損をすることもないだろうし。とはいえ、何をするにしても元手がいると思うんだけど。お兄お金あるの？
Yeah, and I also just got my allowance.
そういうことなら、おすすめのものがあるよ。
Oh, sweet.
モンスター狩人、ムーンクラッシュ。
I shouldn't be surprised that she plays Monster Hunter.
長年のシリーズの新タイトルで面白いって評判。絶賛発売中でございます。
Listen, the new Monster Hunter game isn't that good compared to Monster Hunter World and the one after that one that was really bad on the PC port. I don't remember it. I don't remember what it was called. You want me to get her a game?
でもノアちゃん一人だと困るかな。となると私も一緒に遊んだ方がいいね。
Monster Hunter Wilds, I think. Because the latest one is Monster Hunter Rise. Listen. Yeah, I don't play the Monster Hunter games. I just, you know. Yeah, I think it is Rise. Oh, Wilds, the one that came after World. Yeah. Sure, Aman. That's what Noah needs. Who knows? Maybe she'll be a fan of Monster Hunter. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, Monster Hunter Rise.
てなわけで、私の分も一緒に買うのが一番いいのではないでしょうか、お兄様。
Oh no, who would have guessed that? Amane just wanted to buy the game herself and is using Noah as an excuse. Hell no. You're just trying to trick me into buying it for you.
ちぇ、まあ、ノアちゃんなら、やっぱ食べ物系？
Uh-huh. And speaking of food that girls like. Maritoso.
古っ！むしろよく覚えてたな。
Wait. Those aren't trendy anymore? Those aren't trendy anymore. I remember them being such a big deal.
今だとフルーツ大福も話題になってるっぽいけど、でも教室にチョコを持ち込む子はいてもフルーツ大福を持ち込む子はいないからな。定番どころの方がいいんじゃない？チョコとかパンケーキとか。
That'd be too easy. What do you mean? Pancakes. Isn't that a little plain? See? He gets it.
全然。まだまだ現役。むしろ主力選手だよ。
No, here's the thing, right? The trendy pancakes now are the souffle ones. Right? Well, wow. I didn't know they were that much of a staple.
実際とっても美味しいんだよね。ふわふわのやつとか。口の中に入れると溶けていくみたいな感触と、シロップのほんのりとした優しい甘みがたまらなくて、そこに加わるバターの風味が、やば、食べたくなってきた。私も行こうかな。
What? I thought you were coming to begin with.
え？だって、デートに誘うつもりだったのでは？
No, didn't I tell you? It's like a welcome party type thing. I'd actually preferred you to be with us.
なるほど。了解。特に用事もないし、パンケーキ食べたいし。
So I guess we're going to a cafe. You know of any places?
教えられるほど私も詳しいわけじゃないから、ネットで情報を集めるか。いろんなカフェに行ってそうな人なら、もっと適任がいるんじゃない？
Who?
女子が好きそうなものを熟知してそうで、いろんなお店を知ってそうなアクティブな人。
Oh, yeah, best girl. Wait. Surely they're talking about Kurumi. Good morning, can I ask you a question? I'll take out my phone and message her immediately. Though it's summer break, so it may take her a while to reply.
挨拶が硬い。
Okay, they were talking about Kurumi.
何？どうしたの？
Wow, that was fast.
スマホチェックは女子のたしなみだからね。くるみ先輩ならさもありなん。
Sure. Except that if Riku messaged you at this time of day, you would have been asleep. Huh? Huh. You take a while to respond to me though. What's up with that?
だってお兄だし、後回しでもいいかなーと。
Yeah, you're gonna still leave him on red and you're out? Oh, come on.
どうせ大した要件じゃないんだし、緊急事態なら電話してくるでしょ、普通。
Okay, fair enough. Do you know any good cafes? Looking for a pancake place that a girl would like.
おっと、女子が喜ぶとは意味深な。
Yeah, two of them.
ごめん、そんな風に聞くのは失礼だったね。
It's not a date. I just want to take Noah somewhere nice. As a way of saying thanks for all she's done. I felt like summer breaks the perfect chance.
おー、いいね。女子はカロリー摂取が大嫌いだけど大好き。
Listen, I think Noah's an exception to that. Sounds complicated.
しかり。ちょっと待ってね。考えてみる。
I guess it's not something you can just think of on the spot. Or so I think, but our answer comes a beat later.
カフェステラ。
Really? What? Hang on. I need to check if my facts are right. Yeah. What an interesting name.
パンケーキだけじゃなく、普通のケーキも美味しい。
Cafe Stella, huh? Stay. Is it? God damn it. Does it have any relation to the game?
フルーツを使ったメニューがおすすめだよ。
Thanks. I'll look it up.
どういたしまして。
I searched the name online. Then I checked their business hours and location. She recommended me a place. I guess we don't have to scout it out first.
大丈夫じゃない？くるみ先輩がおすすめするなら間違いはないと思うし。
True.
フルーツか。もしかしたら萌え断のメニューとかあるかも。
Cross what?
断面が花になってるフルーツサンドとか知らない？かわいいっていうか、映えっていうか、ああいうのを萌え断っていうみたいだよ。
Oh, that kind of stuff. I guess I can see how it'd be popular.
断面図で萌えとか言うと、ノアちゃんがエロエロな勘違いをしそう。同人誌でよくあるし。
The waitress that welcomes you to the cafe is one of the characters from the VN, which is also Noah's voice actor. It'd be hilarious if it was just Noah's voice actress as the waitress again in when they go to Cafe Stella. Right. It also...
断面図？バカバカ、何を言ってるんだ！
That's not what... When I think of cross-section, my mind doesn't immediately go to hentai, alright? It immediately goes to a fucking YouTuber it immediately goes to, oh, it's a YouTuber that's cutting their burger in half to show the inside to have a fucking, take a picture of it.
断面図って中出し断面図のことだろ？あんなエッチなもので僕を喜ばせようだなんてアレンジすぎるぞ。
I mean, you did like Bukake ramen, so, you know.
僕を一体何のお店に連れて行くつもりなんだ！そんなことしたら天罰が下るぞ、バカバカ！
I can just imagine it.
言いそう大騒ぎしてそう
Yeah. Why do I feel like they're gonna do it on purpose? Don't mention anything about it when we invite her. No. You should. Because it'd be funny.
んで今日行くってことでいいの
Yeah. No reason not to.
はーい。あ、そうだ。お店教えてもらったんだから、くるみ先輩にも声をかけた方がいいんじゃない
Sure. Why not? You wanna come with us? She answers within seconds. Maybe I should invite the others too while I'm at it. Bruh. The more the merrier. Yeah, the more women around you, the merrier. Noah, you got a minute?
どうかした？あまねと話があるって言ってたけど。
Yeah, I just came back from her room. You aren't doing anything today, are you?
特にないよ。僕に用事がないことは君がよく知っているだろ。
What the fuck? You didn't hear anything. Okay, it's normal again. Anyway, let's where is it?
バックログ画面
How about we go back to here?
移動するぞ。特にないよ。僕に用事がないことは君がよく知っているだろ。
Well, I just figured I'd ask anyway. Do you want to go somewhere with me?
そりゃ行くつもりだけど。君を守ることが僕の使命なわけだから。
Yeah, you're definitely not saying that for any other reason other than because you're meant to be his guardian. Well, I don't want you to just follow me. I want you to come with me.
それ何か違う？
One is done out of willingness and the other is done out of obligation. It's not really that hard to explain. I don't know if I can explain it. I just did, so it's not something I want to do by myself. It's something I want to do with you. So are you gonna come?
もちろん。
But the COME version and not the CUM one. Cool. We're leaving soon, so get ready.
本日はお日柄もよく。
Why didn't Riku bring up cross sections? It would have been hilarious if... Not yet, anyway. Yeah. It would have been hilarious if Riku brought up cross sections, being like, yeah, a lot of girls love posting their cross sections on the internet these days. And I was like, what? How scandalous, or whatever. Something like that. It's a little too sunny if you ask me.
そうだね。暑いもんね。こんにちは。いやいや、今日は誘ってくれてありがとうね。いや、僕も誘われただけだから。
Why are you standing back there?
いや、だって、この暑い中で抱きつかれるのはちょっと。
そこまで警戒されると悲しいな。分かってる。今日は抱きついたりしないって。私も汗かいちゃってるもん。
Give me hugs. I mean, let me get you sweaty. I
それなら。こんにちは、くるみ先輩。今日はありがとうございます。お店を教えてもらって。
You can leave the sweating in your you can leave the sweating for your route. Sorry this happened in such short notice.
平気平気。むしろ誘ってもらえて嬉しい。どうせ今日は暇してたから。でも準備に手間取っちゃって、もしかして待たせちゃったかな。遅くなってごめんね。
No, you're fine.
私も突然言われて準備に時間かかりましたし。
私たちも今来たところよ。ちょうどいいタイミングだったのではないでしょうか。あ、二人とも暑いけど体調崩したりしてない？
Well, considering Orie is wearing a fucking hoodie, well, maybe, okay. Maybe it's not, you wouldn't call that a hoodie, considering there's no hood. But it's definitely not something you would wear in summer.
ええ、元気よ。暑いのにはちょっとヘキヘキしてるけど。
You didn't hear that.
正直、エアコンなしでは体調を崩していたかもしれません。わかる。こうしてても汗が吹き出しそうだし。
お兄、早く行こう。ここ暑い。
You'd expect Kaguya and Orie to be used to hot weather considering that their world probably doesn't have air conditioning. Yeah, let's go.
ところで、今日はどこに行くの？
Oh, I forgot to tell you. We're gonna go to a great cafe. Yeah, your voice actor works there as well. I mean, voices a character that works there as well.
美味しいもの。
みんな大好き、スイーツ。
おー、スイーツ。本当に美味しいんだよ。私一押しのお店。それは期待が高まるな。
Let's get going now.
姫様、参りましょう。そうね。
Sorry for asking you out of the blue, by the way. You didn't have any other plans, did you?
人と会う予定があるんだけど。
Really? You don't have to go with us then. You don't have to go with us then.
でもまあ、なんとかなるでしょ。多分。問題ありません。気遣いが必要な相手でもありませんので。なんなら待たせておけばいいのです。
Huh? That seems a little, lax.
そっちのことは気にしないでいいわ。それに、美味しいスイーツなんでしょ？なら、私たちも食べたいもの。そうですね。
Well, I'll just take them at their word. It's not my place to tell them how to spend their time.
いらっしゃいませ。
I fucking knew it.
6名様ですね。奥のテーブル席へどうぞ。おー、すごい。美味しそうなものがいっぱいだ。
Damn, that waitress sounded just like me. It's May. Oh, they have shaved ice too, it seems, huh? Wait, what? 1,000 yen for some shaved ice? That's so expensive. I thought this stuff was normally like 300 to 400 yen. Yeah, that's Grim Reaper prices right there.
最近ってほど最近でもないけど、高級路線も割と普通だよ。
Seriously?
マジっす。もちろん、そんなお店だけじゃないけどね。
お兄のアンテナ感度はただでさえ低いのに、カフェとか興味なさそうだもんね。
I didn't know inflation was so bad. Like I said, those are Grim Reaper prices. 1,000 for shaved ice. Jeez.
何がそんなに違うんだろ
Beats me.
う。なんかね、フルーツをふんだんに使ったりしてるみたいだよ。あと、天然水の氷が使われてたりとか。
I mean, look, all I'm saying is, it just makes sense that they would, that it just makes sense that if they're going to Cafe Stella, that obviously the waitress would be a character that is voiced by one of the voice actresses from Angelic Chaos. Oh, what am I saying? It just makes sense that they would make the voice actress voice the waitress of Cafe Stella in Angelic Chaos too. Alright. Noah's voice actress. Voice the waitress. Whatever.
果物って上を見れば見るほどお高いやつがありますもんね。
つまり、海の家で食べたかき氷とは違うということか。
Well, yeah, the shaved ice on the beach probably used syrup.
全然違うよ。氷はふわふわで、シロップだって違うんだよ。色と香りが違うだけのシロップじゃない。
The one on the beach probably used more artificial syrup.
ほー。ごくり。それだけの価値があるってことよね。気になりますね。うん、決めた。僕はかき氷にする。どれだけ違うか比較してみたい。
Yeah, you girls can probably afford it with your fucking otherworld money. Another one of the waitresses from Cafe Stella is voiced by a Mane's voice actor. It would be hilarious if they had a different waitress and it was a Mane's voice actress.
味はどうするの？
いちご。いや、こっちの和風という選択肢も。ちなみに、あまねは何を食べるか決めたの？
You don't hear her in this VN, sadly. Ah.
私はパンケーキ。最初からそのつもりだったから、すでにパンケーキの口になってる。
パンケーキ。アニメで見たやつだな。
You mean fucking souffle pancakes? Sure, I guess.
美味しいよ。ふわふわで口に入れたら溶けるみたいで。っていうとかき氷の感想と同じみたいだけどね。実際に食べたら全然違う美味しさ。
うわー、パンケーキも気になる。僕は一体どうすれば。
Just get all of them.
そんな時はシェアリング。それぞれ違うメニューを注文して分け合えば全てが解決。つまり一度にいろんなものを味わえるってこと？それはとてもお得ですね。それならかき氷もパンケーキも味わえる。でもそれだけじゃない。他のケーキだってパフェだって味わえるよ。ドキドキしてきた。
とりあえず私がパンケーキを頼むとして、
私はケーキにしておこうかな。みんなで分け合うなら数種類頼んでも食べきれるかな。私は和風のかき氷にしておくわ。では私はパフェにしておきます。桃のパフェが気になるので。あ、パフェも美味しいよ。クリームの部分もだけどフルーツもりもりですごいから。それはとても気になりますね。
I'll go with pancakes too. The chocolate ones look good. And if we're gonna share, we need enough pancakes to go around for everyone.
オッケー。じゃあ店員さん呼ぶね。
Yeah, no wonder it's 1,000 fucking yen. Look how big it is.
これは確かに海の家で食べたかき氷とは全然違う。なんというか豪華だ。
Are you gonna eat it or what?
そうだね。ではいただきます。すごく美味しい。美味しいよ。そんな風に喜んでもらえてよかった。美味しい。ふわふわでいくらでも食べられそうだ。いちごのシロップとこの上に乗ってる白いのはなんだろう。
It's calm. I mean,
エスプーマっていうらしいよ。泡って意味のスペイン語だったかな。確かメニューには練乳のエスプーマだって。盛り付けのいちごには酸味があってとにかく美味しい。私も食べよう。やっぱりここのスイーツはピミー。
すっごなんこれ、ものすっごく美味しい。私こんなに美味しいパンケーキ食べたの初めてかも。
yeah, but okay. Here's the problem with the design of the shaved ice. What happens after you eat all the syrupy parts? All right, then you're just stuck with ice. Sure, it might be fluffier than regular shaved ice, but what's the point without the syrup?
パフェもすごい美味しいですよ、姫様。このかき氷、海で食べたのとは全然別物ね。氷の食感もいちごの味も全然違う。おいしい。
Want to try the pancakes too? Pancake too? I cut up a slice of my chocolate pancake and give it to Noah. Here.
ありがとう。
Hang on a minute. Why does this CG show the strawberry still on the shaved ice, but the one behind it doesn't? There's no consistency.
これも美味しい。ふわふわで甘くて、でもかき氷とは全然違う。これがパンケーキか。こんなに美味しいものが世の中にあろうとは。
Want another bite?
じゃあお言葉に甘えて。
Here.
本当に美味しい。なんか小動物みたいで可愛い。
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say anything.
ノアちゃん、ノアちゃん、私のケーキも食べて。はい。ありがとう。
私のも美味しいよ。はい、どうぞ。
There's the souffle pancake.
ありがとう。
It might be a bit much now.
こっちもどうぞ。私のパフェもとても美味しいですよ。ありがたいけど、そんな一斉に出されても。はい、もっと食べて。
もう一口どうぞ。
いや、口の中が、いっぱいで混ざっちゃう。
パフェの桃もどうぞ。いい香りですよ。
はい。早く食べてくれないと溶けちゃうわよ。それは、わかってる。おいしいけど、こんなにいっぱい出されたら、お口の中がパンパン。
Every time I see Noah as a hoge, I think there's a hair on my screen. Well, yeah, that's the problem with it being a singular fucking strand of hair. That's the hoge. Especially with how blonde her hair is, it looks like a stray line of pixels.
これ以上は苦しくなりゃ、もう無理。
She looks so adorable, eating that everyone can't help but feed her. However, it's starting to devolve into torture. She might actually barf at this rate. Hey, why don't we slow down? Let's take our time and enjoy the food. She won't even be able to savor the taste if you shove the stuff into her mouth like that.
そうだ。分けてくれる気持ちは嬉しいけれど、僕だけじゃなくみんなも食べた方がいい。
See? Why is the strawberry not on the shaved ice in this CG?
本当に美味しいからね。
そうだね。じゃあみんなで分け合おっか。
We all eat and make merry. Trying everything. We all have our fill. After tasting them all, only Kohibari's manages to make me wish I ordered cake instead. I'm not much of a dessert guy, but the quality of these makes me want to come back again.
同じかき氷でもまさかここまで違うだなんて驚いた。
And girls' hair strands are normally very long, except for the fact that Noah's hair is still short. The strand of hair in the portrait here is as long as my short hair. So, I don't know what you're talking about. You like it? Well, I guess I don't need to ask. Her answer is quick and resolute. But her smile is worth more than 1,000 words. I don't have any plans for today other than enjoying my time here with the others. And I have hardly any experience hanging out with such a large group, especially since you're the only guy in that group. Especially as the only guy. See? Even he gets it. Maybe I can just sit back and not join the conversation. I don't normally have hair on that long on my screen. I mean, yeah, but I wouldn't consider that long. Hopefully, if I just pretend I'm not there, I'm not here, answer only when spoken to, and stay behind the group, I could get by without having to do a lot of talking. As I expected, the girls are having enough fun among themselves without me. They don't want to immediately go home, so we're doing some browsing at the nearby mall. I guess we're just going to check out various places like last time. Following them around seems like it'd be tiring, so maybe I can wander off and look at men's stuff. I could really use some summer clothes for cheap.
くるみ先輩って服とかもたくさん持ってるんですか？
そうでもないよ。着てみたい服、欲しい服はたくさんあるけど、何分先立つものが必要になるからね。バイトとかもしてないから。それで言うと、かぐやちゃんが着てるのって割とお高めのブランドだよね。そうなの？あまり気にせず買ったから。姫様がお召しになるものですから、それなりのものでなければなりません。そっか、お姫様 様なんだっけ？
一応ね、こんなところで姫だのなんだの言っても仕方ないと思うんだけど。ダメです。織江がこの調子だから。
逆に織江ちゃんの私服は結構ラフだよね。
私の場合、動きやすさ以外の希望は特にありませんでしたから。
他に持ってる服はどんなのがあるの？
どれも似たようなものばっかりね。
最初に服を選びに来た時もいろいろと勧めてはみたんですけどね。動きづらいですとか、ヒラヒラしすぎて邪魔ですとか、そういう感想が多くって。
なんともったいない。もっとおしゃれすればいいのに。楽しいよ、おしゃれ。
と言われましても、姫様に仕える身としては動きづらくなっては差し支えがありますから。
だからって簡素すぎるのも良くないんじゃないかな。
I mean, if Kurumi's calling it a hoodie, then it's a hoodie. Even though there's not much of a hood there.
みなりもしっかりしておかないと。それは主人の恥になりかねないじゃない？
うん。それは一理あるかもしれないわね。ですが、そういう場合、いつもの服で良いのでは？
それってブラウスにパンツスタイルの？暑くないですかあれ。
まあ、正直に言えば、多少は。
So she does feel temperature, but she's still wearing a hoodie.
ですが、我慢できないわけではありません。私の務めですから。
そういう服も似合うのは分かってるけど、もう少し色っぽい服を持ってる方が良くない？
Denver Bunker, Cafe Stella, and Angelic Chaos are all in the same universe. Well, it'd be weird if Riddle Joker was in the same universe because, well, that is pretty obvious. Why?
女の子たるもの、いざって時に備えておかないとさ。
いざとは、どんな時ですか？
That's not what I meant to press.
そりゃあなた。いざって時だよ。
先輩顔真っ赤。
Why are you making that face?
いちいち言わなくていいよ。
一体何を想像してるのかしらね。
とにかく、いるったらいるの。ほら、行くよ。
ですが、
絶対に買おうって話じゃないから、合わせてみるだけでいいからね。
いいじゃない。くるみがせっかくこう言ってくれてるんだから。織江だって絶対に嫌だと思ってるわけでもないんでしょ？それはまあ、私の務めに差し支えが出ないようでしたら、はい。はい、決まり。
じゃあ行きましょう。
This is the Usersoft Extended Universe. Alright. Looks like they're out on a mission, huh? You want to go with them?
僕のことは気にしないでくれ。服選びは前回十分堪能したから。可愛い衣装の服を見るのは楽しいけど、3時間も4時間もってなるとね、最初から全開だと体力が持たない。
I agree. But this is a great opportunity to get some new clothes if you want. I didn't play Nozomi's route, so you know. Who would have guessed? What a surprise. Everyone's here, so I bet they can help you pick up something nice.
いろんな意見があるなら、 選ぶのもさらに大変ってことじゃないか。
I guess, maybe.
僕はいいよ。この服に特に不満もない。それよりも、僕はリクに聞きたいことがある。
What's that?
今日はどうしてカフェに行ったの？
Why? Well, I just felt like eating cake today. It was good, wasn't it?
間違いなく美味しかった。でも、美味しいケーキを食べたかった割に、リクには目当てのメニューがあるようには見えなかった。
Really?
そうだよ。今日カフェに行ったのは、昨日の話のせいだったりする？
No. It was the talk you had today.
もし、励まそうとしてるなら、無用なことだ。いや、気遣ってくれる気持ちは嬉しいよ。ただ、
Are you going to tell me I didn't need to do all this for you? Honestly, you're overthinking this. I genuinely wanted to go with everyone. It's summer break. So I might as well do something productive with my time.
いつもはそんな風に過ごしてるのに？
Wow, that really stings. Well, if you want to split hairs, I just realized I shouldn't waste any more time shouldn't waste any more time doing that.
つまり、何か変化があったってこと？
Ever since I met you, I've been doing a lot more things and having a lot of fun. Well, to be honest, that's not the sole reason. There was the whole transmigration thing, and then when a girl confessed to me for the first time in my life, only for the whole to be a ruse. I sort of lost my confidence, and knowing I had a target on my back didn't help. The last few months had honestly been pretty bumpy.
そうだろうね。
But it wasn't all bad. Far from it. I gifted you Happy Mayor, right? Yeah. I got to go to the beach with you guys, and I became friends with Kohibaru too. I also met Kage and Orie, and we went out shopping and had pizza that one time. If I hadn't been Diablo in my past life, I never would have met you or experienced any of those things. You know how bad I am at talking to people. Yeah, if you weren't Diablo in your past life, you wouldn't be in a Ubisoft game.
自信を持って言うことじゃないよ、それって。
Can we not get into this right now?
誠に申し訳ない。君があまりに情けないことを言うから、言わずにはいられなかったんだ。
Oh, ha ha ha. Oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with the frames? They're dropping like shit. Hang on. Hello? Okay, what's going on? It's fucking... The dropped frames are increasing. But... Twitch is saying that there's no problem. Okay. It says it's back to normal. Hmm. The next new one. What do you mean, the next new one? I haven't even finished Kakenuke. Alright, we're back. I can continue the recording. Ha ha ha. Well, I guess I could have done this without you. Not like the food at the cafe would have tasted any different. But I doubt it would have been nearly as fun. Heck, it'd be pretty sad for me to go eat desserts all by myself. Everything's better when you're doing it with someone else. So I kind of figured that I'd be wasting my summer break if I just stayed in my room the whole time. I thought we were thinking about future radio and the artificial pigeons. Yeah. And then you gifted me Angelic Chaos. What? You don't remember that? Stream is buffering again. Fuck.
それで今日はあのカフェに?
Well, I like good food too. I have a decent enough sweet tooth. But I don't think I could have gone to the cafe on my own. So I appreciate you coming along.
それを言うなら僕の方こそ
What the fuck is wrong with the fucking... Okay, yep.
海に行ったことも美味しいものを食べたりしたこともどれも新鮮で楽しかった。
Is your laptop dying or something? I don't know.
それだけじゃない。漫画を読むのもアニメを見るのも。
Are you forgetting Erage?
うわあ！何をそんなことを言うんじゃないよ、こんなところで。場所を考えてくれ。
Sorry, that was my bad.
まったく。そりゃあまあ楽しんでいたよ、そういうゲームも。
Hee hee.
でも限定はしてない、決してしてない。
Look, I'm sorry. I'm glad you're having fun though. That's what really matters at the end of the day.
ゲームも漫画もアニメも面白いし、食べ物も美味しい。不満なんてあるわけない。
That's good to hear. Hopefully things stay that way.
こちらこそよろしくお願いします。
We look into each other's eyes and smile. This whole conversation is a little embarrassing now that I think about it. But strangely enough, I feel my heart pounding. Why don't we go join the fashionistas? Let's go together. I extend a hand out to her, just like yesterday. But unlike yesterday, she takes it without a moment's hesitation.
リクの手は温かいよね。
Oh my god, they like each other. Who would have guessed? Is it? I feel pretty chilly, but I guess it is summer.
温かい。
Let's go then. We head to where the others are, while holding hands. I can clearly feel the warmth of her hand. Or maybe the AC is just a little chilly in the mall.
さすがにもうご勘弁ください。これ以上は私の体力が持ちません。
Ending here? Yeah. I would have gone more, but my computer is forcing me to, for some reason. But, anyway. Thanks for watching. Thanks for lurking. Thanks for chatting. If you enjoyed, a follow would be appreciated. If you want to support me even further, go to subscribe. But, yeah. I would have continued until the next chapter, but yeah. No. Apparently not. But, next stream will not be on Monday because I'll be at the doctor's again to get the rest of the stitches removed. So on Tuesday, well, the entirety of next week will be confusing, to say the least, because, right, I've talked about this multiple times, my dad is closing down the shop because he's selling it, but that means next week will be the last week he will have, next week is the last week he'll get the chance to empty out the shop. And I don't know if I'm going to be there every day of the week. It's iffy because he has help, just he doesn't know if it'll be enough. So yeah, either way, it's not like I haven't been consistent with my streams already, but regardless, I'll have a better excuse next week. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye bye.